Hello, everyone. Today we are going to start our deep dive into The Seagull, a play by Anton Chekhov. Your assignment today was to read The Seagull not once, but twice. And over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be reading The Seagull multiple times. And if we do our jobs correctly, each time that we read The Seagull, we are going to discover something about at least one of the characters that we did not realize from the previous reading. But as we start the lecture today, we're going to do a little bit of a review. We want to make sure that we know exactly who the characters are. And if you read it twice, then you ought to sail through this. We're going to match the name of the character with a description of the character. Well, let's start with the star of the show, Irina Kardina. Who is she? Is she a young girl? No, she wishes she were a young girl, but she is not. Remember, where is she? She is a middle-aged actress. There she is. Oh, what about the mysterious Trigorin? He's an author. Paulina. What about her? She's Shamrev's wife. Konstantin Triplev, sometimes referred to as Connie. He's Arkadina's son. And Nina. Oh, she is the beautiful young girl. What about Dorn? Oh, Dorn is a doctor. And Masha? She's Paulina's daughter. What about Shamrav? Oh, he manages Soren's estate. And Medvinko? He's a schoolmaster. And finally, Soren. Oh, he's Arkadina's brother. Okay, so we got all of the characters together. We can reset that. And let's go on to the next slide. One of the challenges that I always find in Chekhov or any Russian playwright is getting a handle on the pronunciation of the names. So I've got a recording of how you pronounce the names of every character. And I want you to use this as a reference. This is something that you, as we go through this, that you can go back to and refresh your memory as to how you pronounce the name. So let's start with the first one with Irina. Let's look at Konstantin Triplev. He's a little easier than some of them. Let's look at Shamrov. Okay, and I didn't quite pronounce it correctly. Let's listen to it again. Shamrayev. So I left out a syllable for that. So again, it's something that I struggle with as well, and I suspect that we all do. What we're going to start looking at today, and will be our homework for next week, is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the play and divide it into French scenes. Now, hopefully all of you remember what a French scene is. That is when a character either enters or exits. Why do we care about that? Well, there are a couple of reasons we care about it. The most important reason is it changes the dynamics of the scene. Let's say you and your buddy, you're sitting in your living room and you're discussing girls. Well, that discussion may be risque. If your mother comes in, what happens? The dynamics of that scene changes. You're not going to talk in the same way in front of your mother that you're going to talk in front of your buddy. Now, let me skip on a couple of slides. where I have started dividing this play into French scenes. When I direct a play, I give my actors a copy of the script where I have already divided the play into French scenes, and I've marked those scenes. And I usually do it for Act 1, 1.1 for Act 1, French Scene 1. If it was a play that had multiple scenes, I would do it 1.1.1, and so forth. Now, I like this for a couple of reasons. I guess the main thing is when I do rehearsals, I will say I want to, well, let me go back one slide to an example rehearsal schedule. And you'll see down here on Monday the 15th, I've said that I want to block French scene 1.1 and 1.2. Now, I could have told them I want to do pages 9 through 16. Well, but what if a character comes in at the very bottom of page 16? May not be in French scene 1.2, but she comes in at the bottom of page 16. Well, that actor's not going to know if they should come in or not. But by doing it this way, by French scene, the actors know exactly and explicitly what is expected of them. The next thing we're going to do is we read through the play. We are going to look for facts, things that are absolutely indisputable from the text. For example, in Romeo and Juliet, the Montagues and the Capulets, they hate each other. That is a fact. You cannot argue that. But a question might be, why do these two families hate each other? The characters' motivations will be different, let's say, if the feud started many, many generations ago, versus what if Capulet cheated Montague in a business deal? The current Lord Capulet, the current Lord Montague. That would affect the finances of the Montague family. So everyone on the Montague side would have a very relevant reason to hate the Capulets. That hatred would be different. The motivations would be different. So that's why we want to go through and look at these questions. Okay, let's move on to where we've started dividing things up by French scenes. Okay, the very first French scene, Medvinko and Masha, they are off stage, but we can hear them. They come on stage. Now, that's a little bit debatable if that should be a separate French scene or not. I can argue that either way. For our purposes, we're going to go the more conservative way. We are going to say that is a different French scene. So they come on. Masha's dressed in black, and Medvinko asks her, "Why do you always dress in black?" And Masha utters the famous line, "Oh, I'm in mourning for my life." And then Medvinko goes on and he talks about, you've got a lot more money than I do. I'm trying to get by on $250 a month, and you've got far more money. Okay, let's look at some facts of the play. There's already quite a bit of exposition in this, things that we are finding out about the characters. Fact number one, Masha dresses in black. She says she does. No reason to doubt that. Fact number two, Masha's family has more money than Medvinko's. I think that's a fact. Medvinko lives on a salary of $250 a month. I think it's 250 rubles. Now let's look at some questions. Okay, why does Masha wear black? Well, we can partially answer that because a little bit later in the play, we're going to find out she's in love with Triplev, but Triplev does not love her. Well, I think we've all been the victim of unrequited love. I know I have. And, I didn't mope around all the time and constantly wear black. Well, I may have moved around all the time, but I swear I did not constantly wear black. Why does she do that? Is there something deeper going on? Well, what if the director and the actor playing Masha, what if they come up with a backstory? What if we answer that question for Masha? Maybe what's happened is maybe her father abused her. That gives Masha a very different motivation for wearing black. It changes the dynamic of the entire character. Let's look at, okay. We know Metavinko, he makes 250 rubles a month. But what is that in today's dollar? Well, now that is a question that we can later come in and answer. Because we can go to Google. We can find out 250 rubles back, this took place in 1896. What is that worth in today's dollars? We can do that in a quick Google search and answer that question. Okay, let's go on to the next page, see what we got there. Oh, okay. Masha and Metavinko, they talk a little bit more. And I see a mistake here. Anybody else see it? I made a boo-boo. Oh, wait, I didn't. Things just got moved around here on me. Okay. I thought that I had missed this French scene, but I had not. My pointers just got moved. So Soren, remember he owns the estate. Soren and Constantine come in. They have a little bit of a chat. And Soren complains to Masha about her father's dog barking and howling all night. He didn't get any sleep. Okay, and then Constantine and Soren, they're going to have a bit of a chat. And I think we're going to find even though Soren is his uncle, they really have more of a father and a son relationship. But again, let's look at some facts. We know that Nina is going to be acting in Constantine's play. We know that Shamred's dog barked all night, kept Soren awake. We know they're on a lake. Okay, why is Soren afraid to talk to Shamred about the dog barking? Now that seems odd to me. Soren's the one who owns the estate. He can fire Shamred if he wants to. Sort of funny. Maybe we'll find the answer to that a little bit later on, or at least a clue towards it. Okay, Constantine and Soren, they go on and they have this nice father-son conversation. And then the beautiful young Nina enters. Yeah, let's look at some facts. What happens here? Well, one thing that we found out Constantine is 25 years old. So that's important. He's a young man. Fact number two, we find out that Constantine does not like the plays that his mother performs in. We're going to see later on in the play that's pretty important. Let's look. Constantine, he has no money and no skills. And we're seeing a lot about economics already in this play. We know Metavinko has no money, that he struggles. Now we're finding out Constantine doesn't have any money. And we find out Nina has a father and a stepmother. Again, that's going to be pretty important in this play. Let's see what happens next. Okay, well, Soren goes off. And Nina and Constantine, they are so glad that they're finally alone. They have a kiss. Constantine professes his love. And then Yakov, he comes, that's one of the servants. He comes back on and they talk a little bit about the play. And then, let's see, Yakov goes back off. So again, let's look at a few facts. Okay, we find out Nina's father does not know she's there. Interesting. Uh, Constantine is in love with Nina. Very important to this story. Oh, Nina admires Trigorin. Remember, he is the author. Again, that's going to be an important fact. Question. What's the deal with Nina's parents? Why does she have to sneak off? You know, it's been within walking distance. She's walked over there. Evidently, they have been neighbors for many, many years. It's a boy who is about her age. Why would she have to sneak off from her parents just to come over for a visit? Again, that's a question that we're going to need to come up with an answer for. Maybe we'll find it in the text. Maybe we will have, as directors and actors, we'll have to invent a background for Nina. I'm not sure yet. Oh, now comes on Paulina and Dorn. Now remember, Paulina, that is Shamrov's wife, and Dorn is the doctor. And we found out real quick there's something going on between Paulina and Dorn. I don't quite know what it is yet, but it might not quite be kosher, this relationship. And then Shamrov and Arcadia both come in. They're getting ready. Everybody's out there ready for the play. Well, let's look at a few more facts. Well, we find out Dorn is 55 years old. It says right here. Dorn says, I am 55. That's a fact. We know that Paulina is jealous of Irina. Again, interesting. Why would she be jealous of Irina? We found out Dorn is an obstetrician. And he says so right in here somewhere. Okay, let's look at a few questions. What is this relationship between Dorn and Paulina? Something's going on. We don't know exactly what yet, but they are close. Closer than casual friends should be. And Shamrov's family, they seem to have the same social status as Soren's family. Now that seems a little odd to me. 1896 in Russia, that an employee who runs an estate would be socializing this way with the family that owns the estate. I believe you can answer this with a little dramaturgical research. Okay, the year is 1896. The serfs in Russia had been freed in 1861. So they no longer have serfs. They're working on the estate. Also, this is the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in Russia. So many of the men have left the farms and they've gone off to work in factories. So my suspicion is that Soren is afraid if he lets Shamrov go, or if he does not treat him well, he's afraid Shamrov will quit. Shamrov will go off and maybe be a manager in a factory. And Soren does not know who he would have to run the estate. I think there's a severe labor shortage going on, and this again affects the social status of Shamrov and his family. Okay, so does everybody sort of understand what we're trying to do here? Okay, what I want to do is we're going to separate into groups, and I want you guys to work on pages 12 through 23. Want you to divide up the French scenes. Want you to come up with a list of facts and a list of questions. Then we're going to come back as a group and we are going to go over those items. And then for your homework for next week, I want on your own for you to do this for the rest of the play. I want you to put it into the French scenes, let's put those into a PDF that you can submit to me and I will review, and then we will go over them as a group to make sure that particularly that we are in sync on the French scenes. We want to discuss the facts, we want to discuss the questions, and the questions that we can turn into facts. And then a little bit later on, the questions where we cannot determine the answer with certainty, we will start developing histories for each one of these characters. So let's separate into our groups, and I'll see you back here in about 20 minutes.